Today, I will be explaining what happened in Exodus chapter 1. This chapter focuses on a family becoming a nation and God guiding them through suffering. It plays an important role in the story of God's faithfulness and deliverance. This chapter is like the first few notes of a grand symphony, setting the stage for one of the most powerful rescue stories ever told. It begins with a quiet memory of family and growth, but soon descends into a valley of deep suffering and fear. We will walk through the story of how God's chosen people, the Israelites, found themselves in a land that turned from a place of refuge into a house of bondage. The central focus is not just on the pain, but on the quiet, steady presence of God, who is always at work even when the world seems to have forgotten him. This opening chapter introduces us to the characters who will shape the narrative. We begin with the descendants of Jacob, a family blossoming into a nation within Egypt. Their story is a testament to God's faithfulness to his promises. But time marches on, and the landscape changes. Joseph, who once saved Egypt, is long gone. In his place rises a new king, a Pharaoh with no memory of Joseph's legacy and no love for his people. The events of Exodus 1 unfold in a steady, chilling progression. Prosperity becomes a source of fear for their hosts. Anxiety curdles into a cruel, systematic plan of oppression. The chapter documents the beginning of slavery, the bitterness of forced labor, and the unspeakable command to destroy the next generation. It is heavy, and it makes us ask where God is. Yet God is there in every detail, weaving his purpose through human cruelty and faithfulness. The Egyptians made their lives bitter with hard service. But the more they were oppressed, the more they multiplied and spread, a paradox that defied human logic. The chains meant to weaken them made them stronger. Then Pharaoh summoned the Hebrew midwives, Shiphrah and Puah. He gave them a chilling command. When you serve as midwife to the Hebrew women and see them on the birth stool, if it is a son, you shall kill him. If it is a daughter, she shall live. But the midwives feared God and did not do as the king commanded. They let the male children live. "Why have you done this?" the king demanded. They answered, "The Hebrew women are vigorous and give birth before the midwife comes." God dealt well with the midwives. He even blessed them with families of their own. First, God's sovereignty. No human king can challenge the King of Kings. The more Pharaoh oppressed, the more the people multiplied. Second, God's forgiveness and covenant faithfulness. He remembered his promise to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He preserved his people with tender mercy that endures forever. Finally, his purpose, a golden thread through dark events. A cruel decree would set the stage for a child in a basket. Pharaoh's daughter would find him and raise him in the palace. What man intended for harm, God planned for good. He may not stop every storm, but he is with us in it. The central lesson: when life feels unfair and hopeless, trust God's unseen, sovereign hand. He is always weaving redemption from threads of pain. Our suffering is never the final word. God sees. He knows. He is preparing a deliverance greater than we can imagine. How do we live this in 2026? First, trust God in hardship. Facing injustice at work, a difficult diagnosis, or a world spinning out of control, remember Israel. God is still sovereign. He has not abandoned you. Your story is not over. He works all things for your good and his glory. Second, be like Shiphrah and Puah. Choose courage and righteousness even when it's risky. Integrity, kindness, faith. Defend the vulnerable. Speak truth in love. Finally, anchor your hope in God's purpose, not your circumstances. Your pain has a purpose. Your deliverer is on the way.